everybody, today we are going to make a buttermilk chocolate cake with chocolate cream cheese frosting. This is the chocolate cake that I made the most often when I really started to learn how to bake cakes. The buttermilk makes this cake very tender, has a light texture. This is still one of my favorites. I hope you like it. Let's get started. This is a 3-layer cake, so you'll need to start by preparing 3 cake pans. I'm using 8-inch. If you like to use 9-inch, that's fine. You'll just have thinner layers. To prepare your cake pan, start by greasing the pans with shortening, lining with parchment paper, and then dusting with flour. If you'd like to learn more about preparing a cake pan, click on the card in the upper corner of this video or in the link in the description box below. Then in a large mixing bowl, whisk together 2½ cups of all-purpose flour, 3/4 cups unsweetened cocoa powder, 1½ teaspoons baking soda, 1 teaspoon baking powder, and 1/4 teaspoon salt. Once you get this all whisked together, set aside. In a medium bowl or glass measuring cup, combine 1½ cups buttermilk and 4 large slightly beaten eggs. By beating the eggs in advance, this helps whisking it into the buttermilk more easily. Whisk the buttermilk and egg mixture together with either a small whisk or a fork. To this mixture, add 1 tablespoon vanilla extract and the coffee mixture, which is 1/2 teaspoon of instant coffee combined with 1 tablespoon hot water. Give this a good stir and then set this aside. All right, and now you've got your wet and your dry ingredients set. It's time to start putting this all together. In a large mixing bowl, cream 1¼ cups unsalted butter. That's the same as 2½ sticks. This butter should be softened, which means it's soft enough so that when you press your thumb into it, it leaves a small indent, but it's not so soft that your thumb goes all the way through. I like to cream the butter for a minute or two just to get it started. Then add 1½ cups granulated sugar and 1/2 cup brown sugar. Mix the butter and sugars together until the mixture is light and fluffy. This should take approximately 2 to 3 minutes. Scrape down the bowl as needed. This will ensure that you're getting everything evenly mixed. Now it's time to grab your dry ingredients and your wet ingredients that you prepared earlier. We're going to add the dry ingredients in 3 parts and alternate with 2 parts of the wet ingredients. You do not want to dump all of the dry and all of the wet ingredients into the butter mixture at one time. For one, it will be difficult to get everything to mix together well. And number 2, if you do that and you hit that mixer and you turn that mixer on, you will have batter and flour in the air, on yourself, all over the kitchen. No es bueno. Mix just until the ingredients are incorporated into the batter. Do not overbeat. And now it's time to fold in 1/2 cup sour cream. I like using a large rubber spatula. You want it to just gently fold the sour cream into the batter by cutting down the center and lifting the batter up and over the top. Continue to do this until the sour cream is evenly distributed in the batter. Okay, this is looking good. Now it's time to pour the batter into the cake pans. Make sure there's roughly an equal amount of batter in each pan. There's different ways to do this. You can estimate, you can use a measuring cup. I use my kitchen scale. It doesn't have to be exact, just get it close. Level the batter. I'm using the back of a spoon. You could also use a spatula or a knife. Use what you've got. All right, now I'm giving the pans a quick drop, a quick tap. This can help release any big air bubbles that might be in the batter. Now, I like to use cake pan strips. This is totally optional. I find that when I use them, I bake flatter cakes. Cake pan strips are soaked in water and wrap around your cake pan prior to baking. It'll help insulate the outside of your cake pan. This helps your cake bake more evenly. Bake the cakes in a 350-degree oven for 30 to 35 minutes or until a toothpick comes out clean or with just a few crumbs on it. Cool on a wire rack for 10 minutes. Run a knife between the cake and the pan. Flip the cakes out onto a wire rack and continue to cool. Alright, while the cakes continue to cool, I'm going to make the frosting. In a small pan, combine 6 ounces of semi-sweet chocolate and a 1/3 cup heavy whipping cream. Cook this over low heat until the chocolate is melted. Make sure you're stirring this frequently so nothing burns on the bottom of the pan. Alright, it's all done. Set this aside to cool for approximately 30 minutes. And now in a mixing bowl, I'm going to cream together a 1/2 cup of unsalted butter and 8 ounces of cream cheese. Both the butter and the cream cheese should be softened. And now I'm going to add the chocolate mixture and beat these together until it's nice and smooth. Quick tip, I slide a piece of rubber shelf liner under my bowl. This will help prevent the bowl from sliding around the table as I work on my frosting. And last, we're going to add 6 cups of confectioner's sugar. I like to do this a little bit at a time. Also, make sure that your mixer is set at a low speed. This will help prevent those sugar showers. This looks good. The cream cheese makes this a rich, thick, smooth frosting. This is what helps make this cake so glorious. If you're one of those who likes eating frosting straight out of the bowl with a spoon, this is a contender. And now it's time to frost the cake. I like to put a smear of frosting on my cake circle. This helps the bottom layer of the cake not slide around too much. It's time to put on that luscious, silky chocolate cream cheese frosting we just made. Put a nice layer down and make sure you're spreading it out to the edges of the cake. Literally, I could just eat this first layer right now. Just give me a fork. Now, as I put my second layer on, I try to line it up as close as I can with the bottom layer. Give it a little spin. Repeat with a nice thick layer of frosting. And now we're ready for the third layer of this cake. If there are any spots where it looks like I'm a little off, try to nudge the cake in place. When you can see the cake layers move like this, you know it is a moist and tender cake. That's a sign that good things are to come when this cake hits the plate. We have layers of chocolate cake and chocolate frosting we're building here. Nothing gets better. Quick tip when frosting your cake. Think of pressing the frosting into your cake. When you're done frosting a section, instead of pulling your hand out and away from the cake, think of sliding your hand away from the cake. As I frost this cake, it is starting to lean. That can happen sometimes. This cake is just for ourselves, so no worries. If that happens to you, and this cake is for a party, what you do is you make sure the best view of your cake is facing front, and the part of the cake that's leaning faces the back. Alright, I am globbing on just some of the extra frosting I have and doing a swirl pattern. And here's the cake. Look at this. Look at these layers. Even as I cut into it, you can see how it moves. Look at this 3 layers of goodness. It's the combination of the buttermilk and the sour cream that gives this cake such a great texture. Look at the crumb on this cake. This by far is still one of my favorite cakes. I hope you like it. If you get a chance to try it, let me know how it goes. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos like this, and click the bell so that you're notified when I post new videos. Thank you so much, guys. You can catch this and other recipes on my website at sisterwithamixer.com. Until next time, ciao!